hello. This is HeyTim Podcast, and this is another episode of HeyTim Podcast. And it's today we have a new guest and another my friend. Yeah, I like to interview my friends. Why not?
Hi, Tim.
Nice to see you here. How are you? How are you doing?
Fine. It's been quite a while since last time we met, so I'm glad that you have me in your interview.
Yeah, well, it's been a while, isn't it? I don't really remember when. When was it? No, it's like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I guess so. Last time we met each other, accidentally.
Actually, oh right, okay, so it was a
Yeah.
year ago or something.
Yeah.
Yes. What time flies, isn't it?
Exactly.
Time flies.
That's true.
All right, Manny, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you, especially to introduce yourself a little bit and maybe tell us a little bit of your background. Where are you from? What do you do? And so on.
Okay. Well, as you said, my name is Mani. It's a pure Persian name, but it's pronounced as money in English, so you won't forget it for sure. I'm Iranian, and I'm 42 years old, and I've been living in Spain since 7 years and a half ago.
Wow.
And I came here to study my second master, so I guess that's enough for the starters.
Right, for sure. For 7.5 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought less actually. So you've been
No.
here.
As you said, time flies.
Right. By the time we'd met, you'd been here for 2.5 years already.
No, it was 3.5 years.
3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we'd met when we met, 4 years ago or something. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So you studied I guess now you finished your master degree or
Sure.
the second.
No. Well, I finished my second master in 2020. Well, right to be honest, in the middle of the pandemic.
Right. And what do you do? Do you study? Do you work?
Well, a combination of both, because I'm studying. Well, I took a class. An IT class, so I'm in the middle of that. It's just to recap my knowledge and my understandings from IT, and at the same time, I'm working as a freelancer. So if there is a project to do, I will do that. If not, well,
right.
Enjoy my time, take advantage.
Chilling.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's why we love Spain. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
what we do here. We're chilling.
Exactly.
Well, Mani, let's start from the beginning. So, when did you leave Iran?
It was exactly September 30th, 2018.
2018. Okay, so it was around I'm bad at math. 8 years, no? Around.
Well, yeah. Now it's more than 7 years and a half.
Yeah.
Getting closer to 8 years.
Okay. So if we imagine, for example, someone or I met you or you met yourself 9 years ago or 8 years ago there in Iran, what would your life look like?
Well, you said 9 years ago. Well, 10 years ago and 9 years ago, my lives during these two periods were totally different, because 10 years ago I was working at Siemens as a healthcare engineer. But 9 years ago, I didn't have a job because I resigned in order to be able to communicate with professors in the United States to get my admission for PhD and go there.
Right.
But in any case, my life was not bad during that period. I just wanted, 10 years ago, I decided that I wanted to leave Iran.
Yeah.
And ever since, I started to do everything to achieve my goal.
Right. Well, I guess we all have this kind of some line or some period of our time of
Yeah.
realization, no? Because I remember myself, well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not, maybe 5, maybe a bit more, maybe 6 years ago also, thinking the same thing. It kind of was a quick, sudden realization. Yeah. What do you think was for you like that moment when you decided, okay, because as you said, you lived in Iran, it was a good life, and you
Mm-hmm.
worked in a good company such as Siemens,
Exactly.
and everything
Sure.
was all right. And
Mm.
what happened? Why did you say, okay, I'm going to, I don't know, somewhere. So,
Well, I saw myself running. I mean, the same as people in Iran right now. I saw myself running on a treadmill. So I couldn't see myself go further and farther. So whatever I did, I mean, let's say the feedback that I had, I mean, I'm talking financially, emotionally, whatever, was not what I thought about. It was not enough. So I needed more, and I needed more ambition to fight for. And also, I would say I needed more respect. That's not something that you can easily find in Iran these days.
oh, really? I
Yeah.
mean, you mean from people, from government, from
No,
companies?
mainly from government and also from companies, from people. Yeah, I mean, they are so hospitable.
Hmm.
But I mean, other people, I mean, when you have a power, could be government, could be company, your boss, I mean, and they look at you in a condescending way, it's not something. Well, I mean, you can see it everywhere, but I'm
Sure,
talking about the amount of that.
sure. Well, I think I can relate in a way and
Yeah,
understand what you mean. Well, unfortunately, people when they come to power, they exercise in this power, no, and they kind of
yeah.
stretch their limits, and sometimes it can be behind the limits.
And then it comes corruption for sure.
Oh, okay. That's our favorite word.
Sure.
Unfortunately, it's also everywhere. I can't say that in Europe there is no corruption.
No, there is everywhere.
It's just maybe not the same amount or it's not in the same way. But well, living now here in Spain and seeing how things are here, I also kind of see that, okay, there is also not that idealistic world as it may be.
Not at all.
Money, okay. I'd like to ask you, as a person who moved, who did actually
Mm-hmm.
this thing, what was the hardest part of moving abroad?
Uh, if I have to choose only, let's say, one word, I would say cultural difference. It was, I don't want to say hard, but it was weird and different.
Right.
Well, it was kind of hard, but in the end, I decided to move into Spain. So I was the person that needed to be to adapt himself to the situation. Not all the Spanish people here.
For sure.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's a pity when people think the other way around, no? Unfortunately.
yeah. There are lots of people because the community of, for example, this country is, I mean, is so I don't know, so big. So all the Spanish people or all the Polish people should just change their culture because of us. That's not true.
That's not true. Yeah, we
No,
all came here, and we came here for some reason. Yeah, we could come to other countries, but we decided to choose this. So I guess we
exactly.
have to be abide by rules of this country, no? Or at least
Sure,
at least
exactly.
some moral and civic rules. No? What surprised you the
Definitely.
most and what would you say the cultural differences you noticed the most?
Well, at the very beginning, I would say the first 2 weeks that I arrived in Spain, I would say it was so, I mean, it seemed to me that it's a super free country, but mainly sexually free at the very beginning.
Right.
But then I could identify with people in many manners, like Iranian people. I mean, like the culture that we have in Iran. But at the very beginning, it was like a shock, like a surprise.
How open people are or in their sexual relation or
Exactly, exactly. I will never forget that after 5 days, I went to bunkers del Carmel,
yes.
el bunker. And well, I mean, I saw scenes that,
That you would
well, I mean, I could have only seen them in, well, different type of movies.
in movies. All right,
Yeah,
interesting. Uh, well, yeah, especially I know that on the Montjuic, yeah, also there are some
yeah,
interesting things.
exactly.
Uh,
Better use this adjective.
yes, yes. All right. Also, I think, what do you think about people? That are people more friendly, open, stricter in general?
Well, I mean, to answer this question, I'm afraid I have to, let's say, separate different races because we live in Catalonia and we must talk about Catalan people. But I have also been to Madrid, for example, or Galicia or Bilbao. So people are different here, like everywhere. But what I saw and felt, for example, in Madrid and Galicia, people were more, and also Valencia, I have to
Mhm.
mention that, were more, let's say, welcoming, more friendly. Here, I mean, I don't want to say they are not like that, but it takes time so that they feel they can trust you and they feel that we are amigos.
Right,
So, and then, yeah, well, yeah, then they will open up and you can feel great beside them. But it takes time. So the key is patience here.
right. So,
But
well,
in the end, well, I mean, they were good
for
and they
sure.
are good.
Well, I think Catalan is like Catalan people is a bit more reserved, right? As
Yeah,
for example, if we comparison with other peoples in Spain, and we have quite a few. Yeah? I actually did
yeah,
an episode about different cultures
exactly.
in
Because
countries.
you have to go back to see what happened to them during Franco, for example,
Right,
Franquismo.
right,
So, well, I mean, they're right in some kind of their behavior, but in the end, well, I mean, we arrived after 2000. Well, I mean, we arrived years after Franquismo, so we didn't expect to be treated like this at the very beginning, but now, well, I mean, for me, after 7 years, or I would say after 2 years of getting integrated in their society somehow, I mean, it's way better now.
right, right. I would also mention. Well, I'm a big fan of Catalonia, no? And Catalan people.
You are not a bit fan of Catalonia.
I just need to say a little bit. It's just worth mentioning. It's just worth
Mhm.
mentioning that Barcelona and Catalonia is not the same thing because if we talk about people in Barcelona, and because of too many expats and too many people from other countries which sometimes behave not well, let's say, not very nice, so they don't expect you, or they are not that friendly to you. But for example, if you go to some smaller village or town, they're usually very nice. For example, now I live in Sabadell, and it's not that far from Barcelona, but people here are amazing. I love them. I mean, well, also maybe helps because I speak Catalan as well, and
Oh, cool.
it also may help, yeah, because when I go to supermarket, I usually try to use some Catalan, and
Word.
when I can, I do, and they are mostly very friendly and nice. Yeah, that's a bit more friendly than in Barcelona. Okay, Mane, if I have, I think, one or two questions more.
Sure, shoot.
What do you think? What is the best and the worst thing living in Spain? Yeah, what do you say? This like the best, and you love it the best in Barcelona or Spain? Yeah, but well, we live in Barcelona. And what is the
Mm,
worst?
well, okay, let's start with the best. Well, unlike many people, I'm not a super fan of living by the sea. So it's not, I mean, the best part for me, but still I kind of feel like at home in Spain, or well, specifically in Barcelona. So you have access to everywhere. And I mean, the transportation means are super good.
Right.
The availability, the accessibility, and also the weather. I mean, uh, practically and literally, we don't have winter.
No,
I
we
mean,
don't.
no.
We
I
don't.
mean, ever since I moved into Spain, moved into Barcelona, I haven't seen snow.
Well, there is no snow here. That's
No.
true. There is no snow here.
And my friends in at the university used to tell me that, well, every 5 years we have one day of snow, but still nothing. And so, okay, I can't use my winter clothes here, but well, it's lovely because I mean, I can't remember the last time I went out. Well, of course, I go out with a jacket, but I can't remember the last time I went out with a long sleeve shirt.
Ooh, okay.
So, I mean, it doesn't go high, well, above 32 in summer, and it doesn't, I mean, the temperature doesn't go below. I mean, I've never seen
Below zero, no.
exactly
At,
-1 here.
at night, it happens sometimes. It was a few years ago when I was living in San Pol de Mar, if you remember that.
Yeah, I
It's
do
maybe
remember.
because there it's kind of a bit different. It's a bit lower the temperature, and it was some night it was like -2 or 3 degrees, and I was,
Okay.
oh my god, it's cold. It's actually below zero. Oh my god, that's the first time. So, and it was, I think, the only time when it was below zero. So,
Yeah,
okay.
I guess,
So,
but still in Barcelona,
so
no.
you would say the weather is like the best thing here. What for you at least?
For me, as a person who used to live in Tehran, well, I mean, in Tehran, in Iran in general, but in Tehran specifically, you can feel 4 different seasons
Right.
that we have. But here in Barcelona, I would say we have only 3 seasons, or maybe two in some cases.
Some people would say that it's a disadvantage. Yeah, I know, like, because for Russians, mostly Russians, in Russia, in any actually place in Russia, you can experience 4 seasons, and for many Russians here, it's actually a disadvantage. Yeah, they like, oh, Russian winter, I miss it so much. I don't know what they miss, but some people, they do miss like snow. They do miss this cold or this changing. That the weather is changing. But here it's also
Yeah.
changing. Not that much. Yeah, not that.
Well, I mean, like people, like Spanish people, tranquilamente. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
so
All right,
they,
all right, Manny. What about worst? What you don't like in Spain? Maybe in
well,
Barcelona. Okay, since you live in Barcelona for past many
I would
years.
say, well, I mean, by far the worst in Spain is bureaucracy. So it's terrible. It's so terrible here that,
Absolutely, that's for sure.
and I mean, if I want to be more specific about Barcelona, I would say it's winds. So because it destroyed my health when I came here, I didn't have any, let's say, health problem, but I got chronic sinusitis because of the wind here in Barcelona. But now I'm used to it. I use also multivitamins, so I'm okay with the wind somehow. But the bureaucracy, no, not at all.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
by the end of
sorry.
sure, no, go ahead.
We can adjust to wind, but not to bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't get used to wind.
That's the point
I
because
know, money. Believe me, I know the, this terrible when you're applying for something and you wait for years sometimes, and your documents are expired. Then you have, I don't know, a result, an answer, and you're like, okay, but all my previous documents are expired, so I need to do them again. By the time you do them again, your another document is already expired, and it's kind of a circle, and that's a nightmare.
yeah, welcome to Spain.
Welcome to Spain, yes. All right. Well, apart of that, it's not that bad. Yeah.
No, it's not. I won't say.
Uh,
But you asked about the worst part, and I told you that.
yes. Well, Manu, thank you for your story. Thank you for your perspective. And it's nice to know how other people also see sometimes Spain. I think in most questions, I agree with you, more or less. No, more or less.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, I believe Catalan people a bit more friendly than you think. But well, it's just a joke. Well, Manny, thank you very much, and see
You're
you
welcome.
soon in our second part. Yeah, so this is
Sure.
the first part of our.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye. See you.